Welcome to another episode of Mastering Cybersecurity, developed by baremetalcyber.com. Let's dive in. Authentication is the everyday process of proving a person is truly the account owner before an app or website grants access to anything sensitive. It matters because modern life runs through sign-ins for banking, health portals, classrooms, and workplaces, where a mistake can leak money or private records. Authentication fits beside two related ideas that sound similar but do different jobs, which are identification and authorization. Identification is the step where the system points to an account, often using a username or email address, which says who is claiming to be present. Authorization is the follow-up that decides what that account can do after the sign-in succeeds, such as view balances or change settings. A simple photo gallery illustrates the difference because you first pick your account, then you prove it is yours, and only then you see the albums you are allowed to see. Before any password box or prompt appears, most systems need basic identity scaffolding that helps them recognize who is knocking. An account is the record that binds a person to data and permissions, which often includes a username, an email address, and one or more unique identifiers behind the scenes. Those unique identifiers might never be shown to the person, yet they tie together devices, settings, and past actions in a consistent way that software can track. When the login page asks for a username or email address, it is actually performing identification by pointing toward the right account record. Authentication begins only after that identification step, because the software then asks for proof that the person at the keyboard truly controls that record. Keeping these steps distinct helps beginners understand why errors can arise at different points and why fixes target different places. Most authentication revolves around three families of proof called factors, and each has clear strengths and limits worth understanding. Something you know includes secrets like passwords, passphrases, or personal identification numbers, which can be stolen, guessed, or shared by mistake under pressure. Something you have includes a phone with an authenticator app, a hardware security key, or a smart card, which resists remote theft but can be lost or broken. Something you are includes biometrics like a fingerprint or a face match, which are convenient and fast yet must be handled with care for both accuracy and privacy. Combining factors, such as a passphrase plus a code from a device, raises confidence that the right person is present because an attacker now needs multiple different pieces at the same time. Thinking in factors helps people pick stronger sign-in patterns that fit their daily habits without becoming frustrating. Passwords remain common, yet the safest way to handle them looks different from old advice that favored strange character tricks over straightforward strength. Length usually beats quirky complexity because a long, memorable sentence resists guessing and brute force attacks better than a short jumble that nobody can recall the next morning. A password manager creates and stores unique secrets for every site, which matters because reused passwords fall to credential stuffing whenever one service suffers a breach. A passphrase like, "The maple leaves were bright at sunrise near campus," is easier to remember and harder to brute force than "Trin 9XQ, and it can be unique to a single site. Managers fill forms, sync across devices, and warn about repeats, reducing typos and phishing risks because they match secrets only on the correct domain. Unique, long, and manager-generated becomes the simple recipe that keeps password risk manageable for beginners. Adding a second factor changes outcomes dramatically because a stolen password no longer opens the door on its own. The most common methods include authenticator apps that generate time-based one-time passwords, often called time-based one-time passwords, TOTP, which refresh every 30 seconds without needing a mobile signal. Push approvals prompt the phone to show a request that must be confirmed, which is convenient yet can be abused if people approve things reflexively under pressure. Hardware security keys based on Fast Identity Online (FIDO) standards provide strong, phishing-resistant approvals that work by proving possession rather than revealing a reusable secret. Short message service (SMS) codes still block many opportunistic attacks, yet they remain weaker because phone numbers can be hijacked with SIM swaps or voice phishing. Any second factor beats none at all, yet choosing app codes or security keys often offers the best blend of safety and convenience. Passwordless sign-in is growing because it replaces shared secrets with cryptographic keys that never leave the device, which is a much safer design. A security key or a device biometric creates a key pair where the private key stays on the device and the public key is registered at the website, which changes the entire risk picture for defenders. During login, the device proves possession of the private key by signing a challenge, and the site verifies the signature using the stored public key without learning the secret itself. This model blocks large classes of phishing because there is no secret to steal, and the signature is bound to the real website origin rather than a lookalike page. Standards like Web Authentication, WebAuthn, and Fast Identity Online enable passwordless experiences that feel like a tap or a glance while remaining technically rigorous. Sites store public keys, not shared secrets, which greatly reduces the blast radius of any database compromise. Biometrics deserve a clear explanation because they feel magical but follow ordinary engineering trade-offs that students can understand. A fingerprint or face template is usually stored locally in a secure part of the device rather than uploaded to an app, which protects privacy and reduces central risk. Systems tune for two kinds of error, which are false accepts that let in the wrong person and false rejects that turn away the right one, and they must balance usability against strictness carefully. Modern sensors include liveness checks that try to spot spoofs like photos, molds, or replays. Yet those checks can be bypassed if vendors cut corners or disable protective settings. Biometrics shine when paired with a device key because the measurement unlocks the private key, which then proves identity to the site without sending the biometric anywhere else. People still need backups for broken sensors or injuries, which is why recovery planning matters as much as daily convenience. Single sign-on connects one trusted identity to many applications so people authenticate once and then ride that proof safely across multiple services. At work or school, an identity provider, IDP, performs the heavy lifting while each application acts as a service provider, SP, that accepts assertions about who the person is. Security Assertion Markup Language, SAML, moves signed statements between web apps, while OAuth 2.0, OAuth 2.0, lets a person grant limited access without sharing a password. OpenID Connect, OIDC, layers simple identity on top of OAuth, which is why many modern apps use it for clean web and mobile sign-ins. The value is central control with local convenience, because admins can enforce strong factors and fast revocation while people enjoy fewer prompts and cleaner flows. Federation reduces password sprawl, improves offboarding, and creates consistent audit trails that help teams understand who accessed what and when. After a sign-in succeeds, the day-to-day experience depends on how the session is created, stored, and eventually retired, which is a crucial yet invisible design choice. Many websites set a cookie with a session identifier, which tells the server that the person has already proven identity and can continue without repeated prompts for every click. Modern apps often issue tokens with lifetimes that strike a balance between convenience and safety, sometimes refreshing them silently when a trusted device remains active. Remember Me works by extending these lifetimes or storing a special token which must be protected carefully because anyone in possession could act as the account owner. Secure settings include short lifetimes for sensitive actions, sign-out that actually revokes tokens, and flags that prevent tokens from being sent where they do not belong. Sessions are where risk and usability find a truce, which is why thoughtful defaults matter so much. Understanding the attack landscape helps people choose defenses that actually address how accounts are stolen in the real world. Phishing tries to trick people into typing secrets on fake pages, yet a password manager refuses to fill on the wrong domain, and a security key will not sign a challenge from an imposter origin. Credential stuffing uses reused passwords from past breaches, which is why unique secrets and multifactor authentication, MFA, break the attacker's automation. Brute force guessing runs into rate limits, lockouts, and long passphrases that push the search space beyond practical bounds for ordinary criminals. Keylogging and malware steal what you type or approve, which is why keeping devices patched and using hardware-backed approvals matters so much for daily protection. SIM swaps and push fatigue attacks target the human layer, so carriers and apps must add checks while individuals pause, verify, and decline anything unexpected. Risk-based or adaptive authentication adds context to every sign-in so the system can ask for more proof when the situation looks unusual and ease off when everything looks familiar. Signals can include device type, browser fingerprint, time of day, geolocation, and past behavior patterns, which together paint a probability picture of whether the right person appears to be present. If the pattern suddenly shifts to a new country or a brand new device at an odd hour, the system can require an extra code, a security key tap, or a biometric check. When signals are normal and stable, the flow can stay quiet and fast, which reduces prompt fatigue and improves the overall experience without lowering the bar. Teams must tune carefully to avoid unfair blocks or privacy overreach, documenting which signals are used and how they are stored to maintain trust. Adaptive controls work best as a complement to solid factors rather than a replacement for them. Account recovery is often the softest spot because attackers aim for the "I forgot" path when the front door is locked firmly. Email resets travel through inboxes that may themselves be weakly protected, which means mail accounts deserve strong multifactor authentication, MFA, and careful monitoring for forwarding rules. Old-style security questions invite guessing and social media mining, so modern systems favor backup codes, second keys, or trusted device prompts that do not reveal personal trivia. Help desks and support chats can be tricked by confident imposters, which is why procedures must require strong evidence and clear callbacks before making sensitive changes. People should generate backup codes, print or store them in a manager, and register at least 2 second factors so one lost phone does not lock them out completely. Hardening recovery closes a favorite loophole without making life miserable when something truly goes wrong. Beginners and small teams can raise their security floor quickly by choosing a few durable habits that are easy to sustain across months and devices. Turning on multi-factor authentication, MFA, wherever it exists, stops an entire class of password reuse and phishing attacks without requiring perfect memory or constant suspicion. A reputable password manager removes the burden of inventing and recalling hundreds of secrets, while also warning about breaches and guiding safer updates. When picking new tools, leaning toward products that support modern options like security keys or passwordless sign-ins means future upgrades will be straightforward rather than disruptive. Writing down a simple recovery plan that names backup codes, alternate devices, and who to contact reduces panic when something breaks on a busy morning. The goal is fewer fragile secrets and more resilient proofs, which makes everyday authentication both stronger and calmer. Everything we have covered points to one core idea that is easy to remember and practical to use across jobs and home life. Authentication works best when several well-chosen parts cooperate, which include sensible factors, careful session handling, and recovery paths that resist social tricks without creating dead ends. Long and unique secrets play their part, yet combining them with a second factor or a device key changes the entire outcome when something goes wrong. Federation reduces friction without losing control, and adaptive checks add just enough context to spot unusual risk early and quietly. When these pieces are arranged thoughtfully, sign-ins feel ordinary and safe rather than fussy and fragile, which is the experience beginners deserve every single day. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.